essentially says, if the 20th century was the story of slow, uneven progress toward liberal democracy, the 21st century so far is the story of the reverse. She says, not only what's going on in the United States is a reversal away from democracy, but we should see it as part of a global problem. She identifies in particular that the authoritarian strongman regimes around the world are all helping each other, including, personally supporting other corrupt leaders in their corruption and helping them evade sanctions and stuff. And it does feel both global and very hard to fight. It feels almost inexorable. And speaking with Anne Applebaum about that, I found myself sort of in a dark place for a few days. And I wanted to put that to you to find out whether you see that through a lens darkly as well, or whether you're feeling more optimistic about strategy against it.
Well, Rachel, I am very worried, concerned. I spent a lot of time thinking about exactly what Anne Applebaum and you and others are worried about and trying to point out, because I do think that we are facing a crisis of democracy, a crisis of legitimacy, a crisis that really goes to the heart of what the future of our country and many others around the world will be. So I spend my time trying to figure out what we can do about it, and I am not ever going to give up because there's just too much at stake. But first and foremost, we have to make sure more people, besides people like you, me, Anne Applebaum, and others who share our concerns, see what we see. Because I think that the role of disinformation, the way that propaganda has been really weaponized, and the increasing ability to manipulate people through algorithms and other forms of artificial intelligence will only make this harder to combat. So I don't want to be pessimistic about it, because I think this is a worthy and necessary battle. I saw you talking to my two friends, Karen Dunn and Robbie Kaplan. When they took on that case against the neo-Nazis and the white supremacists coming out of Charlottesville, a lot of people were sort of scratching their heads. And I remember talking to both of them, particularly Karen, whom I've known, and she's worked for me, and I admire her greatly, about why they were doing it. And, it was very simple. Somebody had to do it. We have got to end impunity. We have to hold people accountable for their actions, particularly when those actions threaten our way of life, our rule of law, our future as a democracy. And so I am determined to continue to speak out, to do whatever I can. And in fact, in the book we wrote, State of Terror, as you know, there is a plot against the country by people who truly want to turn the clock back. They believe that the progress we've made on all kinds of civil rights and human rights, the cultural changes that have taken place, are so deeply threatening that they want to stage a coup. Now, think about it, because that's truly what is behind Trump and his enablers and those who invaded and attacked our Capitol. They don't like the world we're living in, and they have that in common with autocratic leaders from Russia to Turkey to Hungary to Brazil and so many other places who are driven by personal power and greed and corruption, but who utilize fears about change to try to get people to hate one another and feel insecure, and therefore be easily manipulated by demagogues and by disinformation.